Hello everyone and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host Dr. Strange and today we're talking my universe, Marvel. Specifically the female successor to Iron Man after Captain Marvel put him in a coma, Riri Williams. With our list of the top 10 scary Ironheart facts you need to know. If you haven't already, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily nerdy content and ring the notification bell to be notified when we post because, well, to watch you gotta know, right? Okay, enough of my shameless channel promotion, let's get counting. Number 10, the MCU. Number 10 is scary for a very specific reason. If you're a fan of Riri Williams as Ironheart, you'll be terrified at the recent theories going around about Shuri and her potential to become Ironheart in the MCU. In Avengers Endgame, the climax of the film has Iron Man calling the cleaning lady because he turns Thanos' army to dust. Yeah, that wasn't the greatest joke. The aftermath caused Tony to die and left the void for Iron Person open in the MCU. In Far From Home, they explore this idea with Peter Parker, but some fans think we should be looking to another teen to take up the mantle. As you may have seen or heard, Harley Keener was present at Tony's funeral, but we aren't talking about Iron Lad. The reasoning fans have behind Shuri becoming Ironheart is that she's already established in the MCU, she's a tech prodigy, the fans absolutely love her, Letitia Wright is amazing, and getting her own solo film would be incredible. The MCU hasn't shied away from deferring from the comic books, as they aren't Earth 616, but would this be a change fans would accept? Some of them, but not all. Number 9, she fought HYDRA. When HYDRA launched a massive attack on the American government under the guise of a fascist doppelganger of Captain America, Ironheart and her Tony Stark AI joined the Underground, a contingent of superheroes and civilians alike who were fighting against HYDRA's regime. While doing this, Riri grew closer to the Champions, another superhero team. She joined with them when they left the Underground to support Spider-Man and worked to formulate a plan to take down the doppelganger of Captain America, with guidance from Black Widow. When they executed their plan, Black Widow was murdered by Captain America, and the young heroes were arrested. When the Underground assaulted Washington, they freed the heroes and they helped in the fight, defeating HYDRA. Now I understand she didn't do this alone, but she was a teenager helping out a group of heroes take on a huge group of fascists. If that's not terrifying from both her perspective and the perspective of a reader, then I'm an 11-year-old girl with bleach blonde hair. Number 8, she's 15. When I say she's young, I'm not kidding. Riri Williams is literally 15 years old when she begins her superhero journey. When I was 15, I would sit in my room constantly playing Skyrim and eating junk food. What did you think I was gonna say? So while I'm going through the rest of this list, remember that she is 15. She's not pulling any punches. Riri is 5'2" and is a vigilante, scientist, inventor, engineer, and former monarch of Latveria.
No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Number 7, suggestive cover. Remember that Riri is still a 15-year-old girl, right? Yeah. Well, when Marvel announced a young black girl would be taking over for Tony Stark as Iron Man, we were ecstatic. We also thought, since she's 15, she would be saved from the overly sexualized, anatomically incorrect side of female superheroing. We were apparently wrong. One reader on Twitter said Riri Williams is 15 years old. Unfortunately, it seems some comic book artists have never laid their eyes on a young teenager. Marvel was under fire for releasing a variant cover for Ironheart that involved saying something along the lines of, "Come on, no woman looks like that," but the actual line being, "No 15-year-old looks like that." The particular cover also lightened her skin tone, which understandably pissed off some fans. Some fans interpreted this as Marvel saying that lighter skin tones are more attractive, or at least enforcing the idea. Number 6, she's based on Sky Jackson. Most of you may have heard this name before. If you grew up watching the Family Channel, you may know the name. Sky Jackson was the youngest daughter in the Family Channel show Jessie, and honestly, that's how I will continue to see her. The look of Riri Williams is believed to be based on Sky Jackson, and I can honestly see it. I know I keep bringing up how old this character is, etc., but when it's based on someone who I can now only see as Zuri, it's hard not to just be grossed out by everything that's been going on with this character, even if she's being a meanie. There is honestly a lot to unpack with the implications of these things and how people view comic books. It's hard to associate comic book characters with real people unless they've been playing that character for so long, but when it's based on an actual person that I saw on TV when they were a child, it's just weird. Number 5, whitewashing? Riri Williams is an African American character who was written by Brian Michael Bendis, and fans appreciated the representation, but felt as if she didn't accurately depict an African American teen, causing slight controversy since fans felt she was being whitewashed. The writer has since changed, however, being brought to one Eve L. Ewing, who took over in August 2018 and has been writing the character ever since. She's an African American woman as well, but she was also met with criticism at first. Fans were unhappy because she was an author that had no experience with comic books, but fans would later come to accept and appreciate Ewing's writings and story. Robert Downey Jr. even recommended that Ironheart join the MCU. This obviously made Ewing ecstatic, saying on Twitter, "The real story here is that Robert Downey Jr. said in a room full of people that Ironheart should be in the MCU. I went straight back to the press area afterwards and was like, you all heard it, write it down." So clearly Ewing has taken the character to new heights, so good job, Eve. Number 4, her suit is stolen. To build her first super suit, Riri stole the equipment from MIT. When campus security was going to confront her, she put the suit on and fled. This isn't bad for character development, as she made the suit so she wouldn't feel helpless like when her best friend and stepfather died. But this is perpetuating the stereotype that African Americans are more likely to commit a crime. And with being written by a white male, people thought he was trying to push the ideas onto readers with making a character do this, especially when the character being colored would encourage colored fans to read it. All in all, being a super genius, she shouldn't have had to steal the tech to build her suit, especially stealing tech from her campus. What? Number 3, Iron Man supported this. After she fled from security, Riri spent time flying around the country to get the hang of her suit's flying capabilities. Riri noticed a couple inmates escaping from the New Mexico State Penitentiary. She managed to stop the speeding truck they were using as an escape vehicle, but causing her suit great damage. She eventually returned home to keep working on her suit, much to her mother's dismay. After learning of Riri's accomplishments, Tony Stark visited her and chose to endorse her desire to become a superhero. Later, using a repair version of her armor, she assisted Iron Man during the second superhero civil war, fighting against the forces of Captain Marvel. After Captain Marvel put Tony in a coma, Riri decided to continue his legacy. My issue with this is that when Tony made his armor, he was an adult and he was in an emergency situation. He needed to survive. But Riri is a 15-year-old. She doesn't even have a driver's license, and you're endorsing her flying around the world saving people who are like 2 times her age, if not more? She fought alongside you against Captain Marvel when she put you in a coma. She could have just as easily been put in the same situation, if not worse. If anything had happened to Riri, I imagine it would be a similar situation as to how Tony felt after losing Peter in Avengers Infinity War. Tony put her in a situation where she can be killed. I understand he's trying to nurture her genius, but can't she just cure cancer? Why does she need to fight crime at 15? And don't say Spider-Man does it because he has superpowers and super strength. She's literally just a normal girl with super intellect. Number 2, there will be a major change to her come November. Marvel can barely go a week without claiming some earth-shattering revelation will change a character, or even the entire Marvel universe, forever. In the full November solicitations, the House of Ideas promises that at least 2 big changes are coming. Miss Marvel number 9, which features 2 universe-shaking possibilities, and the one we are more interested in, Ironheart number 12. Riri's adventure in Wakanda will finish, and it is promised she will get revelations about her past. This may be related to her father and how he might be connected to the leader of the 10 Rings, or may even be the leader of the 10 Rings. But no matter what it is, things will never be the same. I know comics do this kind of thing a lot, but any revelation to a character can be scary for fans. She may die, she may turn into a zombie. You honestly never know with these things. She may be an imposter, or she may have just been conning everyone and now she's ready to unleash her master plan. Let me know in the comments what you think the revelation will be, or what change will be made to Riri in Ironheart number 12. Number 1, Iron Man parody. Marvel really needs to vet names when they're thinking about using them, cause oh boy is this a number 1. The name idea came from Joe Quesadilla, who is probably clearing his history right now. When discussing the name, Brian Michael Bendis said Iron Woman seemed old-fashioned to some, and Iron Maiden looked like a legal nightmare. And Ironheart, coined by Joe Quesadilla, after I told him my planned story for Riri, speaks not only to the soul of the character, but to the Iron Man franchise as a whole. Tony Stark put his armor on to save his heart. That might not be his reasoning, man, because a quick Google with safe search off reveals that Ironheart was actually the name of a Japanese Iron Man porn parody that came out as early as even 2013, since it's a parody of Iron Man 3. I don't know when exactly this movie came out, but I'm not sorry about not knowing. I'm not saying to look it up, I'm saying to not look it up, because it's crazy and I don't have much information on it. But now remember, when you see Riri be on the big screen or her next comic book appearance, all you can think of is the fact that her name is a Japanese love film. That has been the top 10 scary Ironheart facts you need to know. Would you like to see Ironheart be in the MCU? Do you think it will be Shuri, or do you think they'll have Sky Jackson play the character that's based off her? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, be sure you hit like and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell with any appendage of your choosing. I am not responsible for any bodily harm that occurs while doing so. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.